Hi everyone, welcome to Gentle Movement, Yin and Restorative Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. For this practice, you'll want to have a couple of yoga blocks, some pillows, at least one, a blanket or a beach towel, a strap, maybe even an eye cover, an eye pillow, or whatever you have around that can help support your body to lie comfortably in the end, which will be part of our meditation. But for now, let's start in a comfortable seat. Take a moment to ground yourself physically. Shift around if you need to as you situate yourself. Here's an excerpt from the Yoga Almanac. And this chapter is called Expansion, the Precipice of Possibility. Yoga is a practice of expansion, a broadening of body that creates spaciousness in the mind. As the scope of perception widens, the practice of presence reveals how to release limiting beliefs, expectations, and how to broaden our horizons and transform our realities. This process of changing our circumstances requires stepping outside of our comfort zones. To take a bold leap of faith is to accept the possibility of failure. By navigating that which is necessary for our continued development, we hone our unique purpose in this life. As we attain milestones, we will inevitably reach a point when we ask ourselves, what's next? Expansion isn't a destination, but a journey. Our successes are maps for the next road to take. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu writes that the farther you travel, the less you know. Each new door that is opened leads us to experiences we didn't even know we could have. To expand is to empower ourselves to traverse the unknown. Exploring your edge is an examination of boundaries and self-imposed limitations. Now, while this is a yin practice, and we won't necessarily be exploring our edge in physical feats, for example, trying our balances, notice what the edge interprets in this context. Perhaps it has something to do with mind and thoughts. If you reached a plateau in your practice, it's worth considering where in your life this same standstill might be mirrored. By drawing from the fiery source of spirit, we expand the ways in which we see ourselves and the world around us, and rekindle the flame of our ambitions. This is the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. When we believe that the only limits we face are the ones we put on ourselves, we are expanding our perception. Expanding our perception. That's the theme for today. So as you tune into your physical body, place your hands wherever it helps you to connect outer being with inner being. Perhaps close your eyes, take a moment to scan your body, tune into any sensations. Sense the way your body is naturally breathing, and sense your energetic, mental, and emotional state. Meeting yourself right where you are in these different states of being. What would you like to welcome into your being, into your life? Take a moment to set your intention for your practice. And a dedication to whom or what might you offer this practice to as well. As you begin by opening the throat energy center, Vishuddha chakra, let's join the palms to meet at the heart and chant 3 ohms, feeling the resonance. Empty this breath. Deeply inhale. And breathe in slowly, sitting up a little bit taller, expanding the four walls of your rib cage. Exhale slowly, maybe through the mouth, any sound. Deepening your breath. Taking your time to feel the stretch between the ribs, the stretch up and down the spine as you inhale, and the soft release as the belly gently presses inward on the exhale. And then I invite you to continue breathing with the mouth closed if you know the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, beginning that whisper at the back of the throat, sustaining your breath. And we'll start to move here if you're sitting cross-legged. I invite you to switch the cross of your legs, root down your two sitting bones. And on your next inhale, circle your arms overhead like a sun salutation. Hook your thumbs. And as you exhale, peel your shoulder bones behind your ears and then plug your shoulders into their sockets. And staying here for a few breaths, widen your collarbones as you inhale, lifting your sternum right between them. And then continue to slide your shoulder blades down your back ribs as you exhale. All the while, feel the bottom of your front ribs seal inward towards your back and melt downward towards your pubic bone. As you might start to gaze up, soften your eyes, relax the skin on your forehead, and find length in the back of your neck, taking 3 more breaths here. As you're gently pulling the thumbs apart, use it to help broaden across your shoulders. And then place your left hand beside your left hip. Keep raising the right arm. Exhaling, start to side bend to your left. About 5 breaths here. Root the right hip downward. Stretch through the middle of your spine out to your crown. Exhaling, keep reaching the left side of your room. If available, you might crawl the left hand further away. You might lower the left elbow to the ground. Just as long as you can do that without shrugging your shoulders, keep the shoulders relaxed. Open up space throughout your neck. In fact, you might want to gently shake your head no, loosening up your neck here. Let's take one more deep breath. And this lateral extension of your spine. Come on up. Place your right hand on the floor beside your right hip. Raise your left arm. Sit up a little bit taller as you breathe in. Exhale to your right side, bend. Let your left hip get heavier as you stretch the spine from your pelvis, broadening your chest. Exhale, continue to reach to your right. And notice what your capacity is here. Maybe the right hand walks further out. Maybe the elbow lands down. Or maybe none of that. Perhaps shaking your head gently no. Let's take one more deep breath. And then coming back to center, plant your hands on your lap and let's start to circle the rib cage. So rolling to the left and forward, breathe in. To the right and back, breathe out. Inhaling half the circle. Exhaling the other half. And so doing this in your own way, if your head wants to sway in the direction that you're circling, if the shoulders want to rotate in isolation too, and then switch it up. Go in the opposite direction in your Sufi rolls. About 5 more cycles of breath. Helping to lubricate the joints of your spine through motion. 1 more breath. Let's crawl our way onto hands and knees, continuing some gentle movement before we hold postures. Set your wrists on the ground just beneath your shoulders and spread your fingers wide. Set your knees a couple inches behind your hips. And to your breath, let's begin cat-cow. Inhale the chest forward through the arms. Roll your shoulders down, look up. Exhale, lift the navel, drop your head, round your back. Inhale the chest forward, coiling it up. Exhale, contract your belly, drop your head. And then go for another 5 to 10 more breaths. Whether you continue this version of cat-cow or you make it a longer range version in which you sink the hips back to your feet through child's pose, and then inhale forward to coil the chest up. Feel free to play with it. See how your body wants to move right now. And listen to your breath to pace it. Maybe circling the pelvis laterally to the left and to the right. Long, even breaths. And from here, let's sink the hips back into child's pose, but keep reaching your arms forward as you bring the inner edges of your feet together at the rear of your mat. Have your knees as wide apart as needed so that you can easily rest your forehead down on the floor or onto a prop. And as you're extending your arms straight forward, actively reaching your fingertips towards the front edge of your mat, draw your hips actively back and down towards your feet. So you feel this pull in both directions of your spine. And at the same time, rotate your triceps or outer upper arms to face the ground so that you can broaden your shoulder blades wide across your back ribs. Then walk your shoulder blades down your back, lengthening your neck. Breathe into your lower back, visualizing there. Breathe into the left and right walls of your rib cage, slowly stretching the intercostal muscles and relaxing them. And breathe into your armpits, your neck and shoulders, your chest. And then rock forward slowly to hands and knees again. And please grab your blocks or pillows, anything you could use like blocks as platforms for your hand. And you may want to place the blocks on their tallest height here as we step the right foot in between the blocks closer to the right block. Come into a kneeling lunge. So your legs are hips width apart and your front knee is bending right on top of the heel as you inhale. The pelvis sink lightly towards the ground. As you keep the back knee on the floor, exhale, start to straighten your right leg by curling up the right toes and scissoring your right hip back, bowing towards the inside of your shin. Inhale, rebend the front knee, return to that first lunge, seal the sole of your right foot down. Exhale, straighten the right leg again, and bow. Just like that, a mini breath-led movement for 3 more breaths. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, straighten. Stay here in this forward fold. Feel free to adjust the height of the blocks and walk them to the spot where they can be right underneath your shoulders so that you're able to relax your shoulders away from your neck. Flex your right foot here as you straighten the right leg, helping to activate your right quadricep, the front muscle of the thigh. And find open space at your throat as you look slightly ahead of your right toes. Broaden your chest, taking about 4 more deep breaths here in half split. Ardha Hanumanasana. And start to drag your right heel behind you. Come back to hands and knees, hands on blocks, maybe at their tallest height. And step the left foot between the blocks, closer to the left block. So legs as wide as hips distance, front knee right over the heel. Inhale, allow your pelvis to sink. Exhale, curl your left toes up and begin to straighten your left leg as you bow to the inside of it. Inhale again, bend your front knee, lunge. Exhale, straighten the leg, bow. Keep going on your own for about 3 more cycles of breath. And the next time you end up in your forward fold, let's stay there in half split. Adjust your blocks to the height you may need, or no blocks, where your wrists are just under your shoulders. Shoulders are relaxed down the back. Flexing your left foot, activating your left quadricep, and broadening your chest forward, breath by breath as you fold in. Take about 4 more breaths here. And then from here, inhale, lifting your chest. This time, bend your left knee. Let's grab your strap, anything that you have that's like a strap. Long towel, very long sock, a sweater. And then come on up to stand around the center of your mat, separating your feet a little wider than hips distance, parallel to each other. And we're gonna warm up the shoulders. So hold the strap like a jump rope in front of your thighs, and let your thumbs actually point outward rather than inward towards the strap. Now keep your arms straight, keep your shoulders relaxed, down away from your neck, and then stand up tall, seal in your front ribs. Inhale the arms overhead, holding the strap. Exhale the arms all the way behind you and down. Inhale the arms up. Exhale them forward and down. And just like that, adjust the spacing between your hands as you need so that you can have a taut hold of the strap. It's not loose between the hands. You're also able to keep your shoulders down as you lift the arms up to your degree, and able to keep your elbows straight, arms straight. And then flow to the pace of your breath for about 5 more deep breaths. If you're feeling your shoulders becoming warmer and this is much easier now, then you can walk your hands closer together to get a little deeper into the shoulder warm up if you like. And then we'll put the strap aside for now. And let's come into a wider stance. Turn out your thighs from the hips and find a wide-legged high squat, like a horse stance. Gently rocking side to side where you can begin to align the center of your kneecaps with the big toe beneath. So they're turned out at the same angle from the hips. And then come to the center here, press your hands into your inner thighs, towards the tops of your thighs, sink the hips a little lower, and then inhale, draw the shoulders down, lift up to your crown. To your left side, exhale, turn your chest into a twist, pressing both inner thighs open. Inhale, back to center. So this is a breath-led movement. Exhale, twist to your right, pressing your inner thighs open. Let's take 2 more moving twists. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Feel the rib cage rotate. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. And then come back to center, parallel your feet. And then we're gonna come into a forward fold. So if you'd like to have blocks in front of you to place your hands on, that may be helpful. If the floor feels far away to reach, begin with your hands on your hips, feet parallel. Draw the shoulders back and down, inhale. And then exhale with a long spine, belly is slightly activated, fold forward, and then place your fingertips either on your blocks or the floor, where your spine can be like a tabletop, parallel to the floor. As you inhale, draw your chest through your upper arms, shifting your weight forward as far as you can balance. Now keep your right hand front and center on the block or the floor. And as you level your 2 hips, begin to twist to your left, raise your left arm up. Be here for 5 breaths. Inhale, stretch your spine forward. Press the shoulders away from your neck. Then hug your outer hips towards your midline as you continue to rotate your chest open. Feel your full wingspan up to your left fingertips. Feel the space between your shoulder blades here, adding some torque there, breath by breath. Pack your right outer hip back to help keep your hips level. 2 more breaths. On your exhale, replace the right hand with the left. And as you inhale, stretch your spine further forward, move the shoulders down your back. Keep the hips leveled. Exhale, turn your chest to the right and raise your right arm up. About 5 breaths here. Inhale, reach the spine forward. Firm your outer hips towards the midline. Exhale, continue to turn your chest. Feel that energy rising up from your heart center, up your right arm and out through your right fingertips. Last 2 breaths. And exhale into your forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you prefer. And decide if you'd like to walk your hands onto the ground or blocks back, or catch hold of opposite elbows. Perhaps sway the spine like a gentle pendulum, knees loosely bent. Maybe nod and shake your head if it's not resting on the floor. About 5 breaths here. Notice if it's helpful, if there's any stuck energy along the jaw, neck, and shoulders, to make some sounds out to the mouth. Maybe shaking out the shoulders, like a little shimmy. Maybe shaking out the head, maybe shaking out the jaw. Let's take a lion's breath. Let it feel releasing when you exhale with the mouth wide. Inhale deeply. And then heel toe your feet a little closer together so that you can bend your knees a lot and slowly roll your spine upright. You can even add a little shimmy to the shoulders, to the torso, to the head as you're rolling up slowly. Lifting your head last, and to sit on the ground. So we had a request for opening up the outer hips here. Let's begin in cow face pose. As you're sitting down, start by extending your legs forward and see how accessible sitting up tall is. If it feels like you're immediately starting to round the back, you may want to elevate your pelvis on a folded blanket or a firm pillow and sit towards the front edge of that. And then let's turn out your left thigh at the hip. Cross the left thigh as much as you can over the right thigh so that you might be able to stack your knees. And then you can decide to take this pose with the bottom leg straight and the bottom foot flexed, or you can bend both knees and splay the feet perhaps wider apart. Make sure that you're grounding your two sitting bones, left and right. And now you may want to use a strap as we add the shoulders of cow face pose. So if your left leg is crossed on top, start by raising your right hand with a strap in it. Dangle the strap behind your back. And then use your left hand to help you rotate the outer side of your right upper arm forward and bring the elbow behind your skull, walking the shoulder blades down the back. Reach your left hand underneath behind you and catch hold of the other end of that strap. Walk your hands as close together as you can. You might be able to clasp your fingers and drop the strap or not. And then once you have that established, reroot your pelvis and breathe, visualizing up your spine. Blossom your chest open, open your throat. And keep the two open as you begin to bow forward to your degree. I'm gonna be here for about 10 more breaths. If you'd like to set up a tower, which I should have said earlier, to catch your forehead out of your pillows or blocks, you could set that up as well. Otherwise, you can hang the head. When you're ready, slowly inhale, lift from your chest, slowly rise up. Release your arms and your legs and take a moment to sit and observe the effects of that. Physically, energetically, mentally, the effects. Feel into your breathing again. As we remember the importance of the process, the journey, not just where we're getting at, not just the pose we're getting into. Feel into what shifts as you're moving through the process of setting it up. Turning out your right thigh this time, cross it over the left leg, and see if we can set up similarly as you did on the first side. So bottom leg straight or both knees bent. And this time hold the strap in your left hand. Wrap the left tricep forward and bring your elbow behind your head. Press the shoulders down. Reach your right hand underneath, grab the other end of the strap. Walk your hands as close together as you can. Maybe they clasp. As you inhale, roll your shoulders back, open your chest and throat. Keep them open, and exhale, reach your sternum forward. You've got about 10 slow breaths here. So not only noticing what's happening physically, what goes on in thought form. Where does your attention go throughout the process or the journey of this pose? Finish off about one more breath here. In Gomukhasana, cow face pose. And then inhale, lead with your chest to rise slowly. Release your arms and legs. And again, let's sit for a moment. Observe. In what ways might you be expanding your perception in this practice? Anything new calling you to look at it? Let's start to make our way onto all fours again, hands and knees. You may want to have a block or pillow towards your hands off to the sides. Set up for a spinal twist and thread the needle. So have your knees a couple inches behind your hips, set your wrists under your shoulders. And with an inhale, reach your left arm up to the sky, wide open across the arms. Then exhale, thread your left arm beneath your right elbow and lower the left ear all the way to the ground. Now use a pillow or block to hold your head if you need, and flare your right elbow towards the sky. Feel your two hips level out so you're not twisting your pelvis. You're allowing your ribcage to gently turn as your shoulders relax down your back. And let's take another 10 full breaths here. Very slow. And as you're ready, gently press up back to all fours. Maybe 3 breaths there. Pausing in between sides, a moment of integration. So we set the tone for mindfulness in our transitions, not trying to get anywhere. We're here, present in each moment. When you're ready, inhale, raise your right arm up high. Stretch wide across your arms. Exhale, thread it under your left, bend to elbow. Rest the right side of your head all the way down. Use a prop if you need to catch your head so that you're comfortable. Not struggling in the pose. Even if there's some discomfort, find a balance here where you can continue to breathe calmly. Feel your 2 hips balance in height as you direct the twist right beneath your rib cage, relaxing the shoulders down your back. Let's take 10 more deep breaths. As you feel ready, gently press yourself back to hands and knees, pausing there again for 3 breaths. Notice what you notice. So we're going to set up for a supported inversion in which we're lying down on our backs, flat on the floor, or you might have a pillow or block right beneath your sacrum so your pelvis is slightly elevated. And we'll be resting the legs either flat against a wall, if you have that available, or elevated on a stack of pillows, piece of furniture like a couch. I'm gonna actually grab a chair here and set it up. So if you, like me, don't have open wall space, you grab a chair and even create, if it's a low chair like mine, you can create a higher elevation here. Place your calves on, because I'm actually going to elevate my sacrum on a block. One way to set up if you're going to be leaning against a wall or a chair like this is to come into a sideways fetal position first and scoot your glutes up against the wall already as you're lying on your side, or up against the chair, really close to it, so that all you need to do next is to roll over onto your back and lift your legs, and they will land directly on that wall or directly on that chair or pillows, whatever you have. Then if you'd like to place something to elevate your sacrum, boost your circulation a bit more, you could step your feet into that furniture, lift your pelvis up, and slide a block or something like it right across your mat under the flat part of your lower back. Make sure that you adjust it so that you can feel stably and comfortably supported. It's not digging in to any uncomfortable areas. And then here, you may like to rest your palms face down on your abdomen. That can feel soothing, grounding. It warms up the belly as well. You could complement that with deep belly breaths. That's inhaling into the stomach and exhaling, the belly sinks. Or if you're looking for more opening in the chest and the fronts of your shoulders, you could bend your elbows apart so your palms are face up by your sides, sort of like a cactus, shoulders down the back. See what works for you. I'm going to set the timer here for the next 4 minutes. So we are in a restorative posture here, in which we really cultivate that feeling of surrendering, letting go of any need to reach for anything once you've set up the pose. Letting go of the need to shift around as much as you are able to. Maybe closing your eyes and centering your attention on one thing. So this is a preliminary practice to meditation, focusing. You might center in on the music that's playing, the mantra. It's a mantra proclaiming our interconnection with all beings, all of nature, sun, moon, stars, the universe. Or you might focus on the gentle movement of your breath in one spot in your body. Choose your point of focus as we practice dharana. Sixth limb of yoga, concentration. You can also let go of controlling your breath. few more breaths where you are before you start to bend your knees. If you have a block or prop under your sacrum, you can press your feet against the chair or the wall so that you can lift your pelvis and slide the block away. And once your pelvis is all the way on the ground, let's come into happy baby pose. Bend your knees apart to the outsides of your shoulders, catching hold of your outer ankles or feet. Press your tailbone into the ground. Rest your head and shoulders down. You might also rock side to side or clasp your big toes and begin to straddle the legs apart. Keep pressing your tailbone into the floor either way. Let's take about 10 breaths. And then bring your hands to your outer thighs, bend your knees. Use your hands to help you close your knees together. Turn over to one side in a sideways fetal position. Pause there, resting your head on your arm, naturally breathing. Again, bringing mindfulness into the transition. So that it's not only the poses, but the entire practice itself, in which we stay attuned to what's happening internally. You press your hands into the ground, gently begin to lift your torso, and we're going to set up in another restorative posture that's going to be our Shavasana posture, our pose for corpse pose. Now, if you prefer to lie a different way for your final resting pose before meditation, feel free. But what I'm offering here is some variation of a supported back bend. Using 2 blocks, using a pillow down the middle of your mat, whatever you can lie back and open the chest with. You feel a release in the fronts of the shoulders. So you may want to use tall block, back edge of the mat, medium height block. This time I'm going to do mine tracing the midline of the mat. I often do it across the mat. You can switch it up and see what calls to you right now, what feels more appropriate for your body. And then you may want to have a pillow across the mat for underneath the backs of your knees. Splay the feet apart so they're wider apart than your hips distance. You may want to have a weighted folded blanket on your pelvis and belly. It can feel soothing and grounding. And maybe you have an eye pillow you can cover the eyes with. And lying back here. Take a moment to set it up. Make any adjustments that you need so that you can feel symmetry. Both shoulders are rolling back and down as you turn your palms to face up. And I also want to mention that I'll be playing the singing bowls, so in order to hear them better, I'm actually going to change the audio settings here on Zoom, in which my voice might become lower in volume. So if you need, you may want to increase the volume on your listening device. So as I mentioned, our meditation practice is going to be a continuation of Shavasana after we begin Shavasana with a guided body scan, relaxation. So as you find a comfortable position of stillness, Allow your breath to flow naturally. Sensing the surface below your body that is supporting it here. The back of your head, your upper back and shoulders, feeling into the back of your pelvis, backs of your legs, the outsides of your arms, and all the way down to your hands and your feet. The parts of your body that meet the surface below. And as your eyelids close, feel the gentle weight of your eyeballs sinking into their sockets. Sense the softening of the muscles in your face. And as you relax your jaw and tongue, feel into the back of your neck as you allow your scalp to relax too. As you land your awareness at your chest, the area of your heart, energy center. Sense any energy that you feel flowing through there at this moment. No need to label or mentally identify it. Allow your felt sense. as your body continues to rest in stillness, your eyes remain closed. Begin to expand your awareness from within you outwardly. Sense again those points of contact between your physical body and the surface carrying it below. Grounding in presence, begin to gently deepen your breath. Rubbing your thumbs across your fingertips, bring mindfulness into your transition from stillness to gentle movement and stretch. Taking your time, one small stretch after another, to slowly ease your way up into a comfortable seat of your choice. Perhaps joining your palms in prayer at your heart center. And while lifting your heart, bowing in, a gesture of reverence, of gratitude to the light of your inner teacher. In what ways can we continue to be open, expand our perception, expand our perspective, living our yoga practice beyond poses? Remember your intention for this practice. Remember whom or what you've dedicated it to. And together, let's close with one chant of Om. Empty this breath. Take a deep inhale. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste.